Oh my god, the host just triple stabbed.
Do you see who's food running tonight?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we have
order.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events, is purely coincidental.
We put your seatbelt on?
You're right.
Hold on, Kat's got to get all clicked in. Oh, but me locking my door is laughable.
You gotta be safe.
Bunny locks her door. I'm gonna put my seatbelt on in my shut-off car.
You shut your fucking mouth.
She's ready to go on a trip. Buckle up, everybody. We got a new episode of Rolling Silverware coming at you.
I hate you so much.
Safety first. I really wish now that I had let you do it. So that way in 10 minutes, halfway through our like introduction and everything, I could have been like, why's your seatbelt on? If everybody could join Kat and buckle up.
Oh my god, I fucking hate you so much. I would have done it. I would have 100% gone all the way through with it.
Yeah.
And then realized at one point I had to, whether you saying something or me just realizing, why am I buckled into this parked car? Welcome back to Rolling Silverware. I'm Kat.
I'm Bunny.
And this is our post-shift shit talk.
And it is Valentine's Day weekend, everybody.
I mean, it treated me better than I originally thought it was. We talked about it, I think, 2 weeks ago, because I just edited that episode that's coming out tomorrow. And yeah, I was really pessimistic about it. I was
Incredibly.
like, fuck Valentine's Day. It's just two top, and it sucks, and people don't tip. I've been getting pretty decent tips, but with the amount of servers that have been on, it's been really difficult to... I don't know, I guess, like, we've had full sections, but you're really not getting any more than that, like, fourth table ever. Like, there is no space.
If I get a fourth table, then one or two of my other tables is currently getting up.
Yeah.
So it's like having a full section this weekend so far has been momentary at best.
Yeah.
Because so many of us are on at work. And, like, Friday was Valentine's Day. It's Saturday night now. And there was just too many of us yesterday. Like... I know everybody has to work the holiday. I get it. Like, I get why we do it that way. It's every restaurant I've ever worked at, we've done it.
Yeah.
But we've also hit a point at every other fucking restaurant I've worked at where we look at everybody and go, hey, we overstaffed. Who wants to go?
Yeah, and that's what I don't understand is
like,
why...
we cut and run people at Black Angus all the time.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, can you give 2 breaks and then go home? Yeah, I'd love to. Like, people jumping up and down. Yeah, I'll give 2 breaks and go home, you know? Like, why can't we... fucking figure that shit out right now? Like, why don't we have a person that's just a breaker? Why don't we have a breaker on holidays? One person, one designated breaker, and you tip them out a couple bucks, and they go about their business. They made $40 today.
At Yard House, we had a breaker every night shift, right? So maybe it was just the weekends. I can't really remember. Not at every Yard House I worked at, just the one that was right next to the Improv, because that was a busy, yard house.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where sometimes on a Saturday night, it was really nice to have that breaker shift because you came in for, 2 to 4 hours and then you fucked off. And it was fantastic. But they paid us an extra $1 and we got a free meal. And so every breaker shift, that's how it worked. You would clock in as a breaker.
Yep.
You got no tips. You kept nothing.
Right.
And you didn't get tipped out or anything like that. But you made an extra $1 every hour and you got a free meal.
Perfect.
And every once in a while, on a holiday, that was really nice. Like, you didn't want to, work Mother's Day. You just wanted to work a couple hours because you had to. Yeah. And then you got to go home.
At Claim Jumper, we had 1 or 2 on holidays, a breaker. And so you'd come in, like you said, you break 4 or 5 people. If it was 1 breaker, then you're breaking 6 people, 7 people, right? The people that absolutely need to have the breaks. And then you go on your way. But what we did is that person would give you your break, and depending on what happened, you give them $5 or $6. Yeah. So cool. If you did 6, okay, all right, you're walking with $45, $50, whatever, you're out. You bounce out. Whatever people gave you, you take it. Cool, thanks. All your table. If they treated your tables like shit, then you didn't tip them anything. You know. But you knew walking in, I'm giving 6 breaks today, and then I'm going home. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my whole job. 3 hours, and I'm going home. Yep. People would jump on that shit here.
Yeah. Oh, heavy.
So that's actually, now that we bring that up, that's actually a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that a week ago. But what I thought, so here's something that I would like to maybe discuss at the next hammer meeting, like the closer meeting. I want to ask, what I wanted to ask anyways, before we start talking about breakers, I was thinking, what if we raffled off 2 people to have the holiday off? We just raffle it out, right? So everybody's name goes in a bin. They pull out 2 names. Cool. You get Valentine's Day off. You get Valentine's Day off. Because we literally don't need that many people, right?
Right.
And if come, right, the next holiday, right? Easter. If your name gets pulled again, sorry, you just had Valentine's Day off. You don't get to have, or even just one holiday a year you get off, right? So that way it's more fair for everybody. And I think across the board, everyone would agree with that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine one person sitting there being like, no, that's totally not fair. It's a raffle. Like, that's as fair as it gets, And we also don't need this many fucking people. Like, it's every single holiday the last, 2 years?
Yeah.
There's not even money to be made because there's 16 fucking servers on the floor.
Yeah.
And
but
then,
apparently all of them work doubles.
5 of us for doubles.
Yeah, I got my ass absolutely handed to me by our GM.
It's absurd.
Because there's only 3 people not working a double, and you're one of them. She's talking to me, and she's saying, you're one of them. And the only reason you didn't have to work a double today is because you have your kid. And I just need you to know that on Mother's Day, you will be working a double. Oh, I need you to understand what just came out of your fucking mouth.
Right.
Like, oh, you have a child, so on Mother's Day, you're going to be working a double since you didn't have to today?
Right.
Are you joking?
Yeah, this is a joke, right?
And I did try to explain to her, like, it wasn't that I couldn't work a double. I just needed more than 5 days notice to work a fucking double. Or don't work me a double, but work me a night shift, because there was plenty of people that only came in on the night shift.
Yeah. There was 9 night shift people. 9.
Right.
And then 5 of us were on doubles. I counted it out because by fucking 7:30 at night, I'm over here like, okay, you gonna cut the doubles?
Yeah.
Because then you have 9 people still on your floor. That's a perfectly sized floor for a busy Friday night. 9 servers on a busy Friday night, that makes sense.
Huge, yeah.
Especially after 7:30.
Yeah.
Like
there's only a couple hours left.
There's only 2.5 hours left for 9 servers to handle it. I think they would have been fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, but no, we had 3 just morning people, and we had 9 nighttime people, and 5 people on doubles. That's how that actually broke down. So that's why when you told me, you were like, yeah, she, ripped me a new one, being like, oh, only 3 people weren't on doubles. Wrong. Right away. I probably would have looked at her and been like, no, that's not true.
Well, I left before all the night people came on. I had no idea how many people, that 9 other people were coming on just for the night shift. Otherwise, I might have said something. Because it wasn't, that's just not true.
Right.
Like you said, it's just blatantly
you can't look
not
at me
true.
and say that people coming on at 3 and 3:30 are working a double. No, you're not.
No, they're not. They're night shift.
Not. That's 6 hours. You're not working. That's not a double. That's a regular shift.
Right.
So, yeah, it's earlier than the 4:30 times that we normally come in, but 3 and 3:30, still not a double. The people who came on at noon are working the doubles. That was 5 of us.
Absolutely insanity. Yeah, but she got all mad at me and told me that I made a huge deal, apparently, about not being able to work a double. And I said, no, I didn't make a huge deal about not working a double. I said, I need more than 5 days to know if I'm working a double so that I can make arrangements for somebody to pick up my son from school and get him home.
On a day where you, 1, have your son, which is only every other week, and 2, it's a school day.
Right.
This isn't a Saturday holiday. If it was a Saturday holiday, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
And that's exactly what I said.
You would have been like, yeah, I could have stayed till 5 or 6, like originally you probably thought I was going to.
Yeah. And that's 100%. And I said, when she brought up Mother's Day, I was like, yeah, that's on a Sunday. That's fine. My son can stay at home.
Right.
It has nothing to do with, like, I need to be home with him. He's a fucking teenager.
Yeah,
he
he's a teenager. He can be home alone. But what he can't do is get himself from one city to the next on his own.
Multiple cities, by the way.
Several cities away, not even back-to-back cities. This is several cities away that he goes to school in from where you work and where you live.
It's a 20-minute car drive.
Right.
It's a 20-minute drive to get him to and from school. So he can't bike that.
Right.
Like, it's too far. It's too far for him. And it would be too far for, I think, a lot of people. I don't know if I would bike that far.
I wouldn't want to do it. Maybe
So,
once. Is somebody picking me up after I bike there? Like,
right.
I'm not biking back.
Yeah, do they have a rack on the back of their car?
Yeah,
Like, please.
I'll bike there, but then I'm being picked up, right?
Right. It's so that was the whole thing, is like, no, I needed to either I needed to be clocked in after he got out of school so that I
Right.
could pick him up from school and then bring him home and then come in. Or I'm not working, or I needed enough time in order to be able to reach out to his father and be like, hey, can he come to your house after school and I'll pick him up when I'm off?
Right.
Or, have my husband figure out a way to pick him up from school, or my dad, like somebody. There's
anything
people,
else, yeah.
there are people that I can call. My ex's sister, he could have stayed at her house because she lives in the city that he goes to school in. Like, there are people I could call. I just can't call them the day before Valentine's Day and be like, oh, hey, by the way,
Right.
can
I
you
need
pick
this
him up
favor
from school?
from you.
Like,
yeah.
days beforehand, I wasn't making a big deal about not working a double. I was just trying to figure out, hey, am I being cut when my relief comes on, or am I going to have to stay? I need to know exactly what's happening and how it's happening because I might need to make arrangements.
Right.
And they
that's
said no.
completely reasonable to ask. Like, you're
Right?
not asking
Apparently
for
not.
You're not asking for the world here. You didn't say, hey, I can't come in at all because my son has school that day. Hey, that would be an entire, that'd be an entirely different conversation, But yeah, I just can't even believe that you were even spoken to about it. It's like, what?
Yeah, she was pissed.
Also, the last several holidays, we've only had 3 or 4 people on doubles.
Well, I still think that she's very mad at me about going on my trip
Oh,
over
yeah,
the holidays.
because you took Christmas off.
Yeah. Which I had...
God forbid you have a life outside. I remember talking... Okay, so Kat was gone for the weeks from basically Christmas through New Year's.
Yes.
You were gone. It was like 15 days or something
Over
like that,
a
right?
year ago. Yeah. It wasn't this past Christmas. It was the Christmas before.
Right. Over a year ago now, she took off this time and put it in to be
Years.
taken off so far in advance because you had
Literally?
bought your tickets so far in advance and you guys were planning it so far in advance.
I spoke with 2 other general managers before she even came on as a general manager to
Right.
be like, hey, is it okay if I do this? And
Right.
they said
How
yes.
can I plan this to work out where I'm in another fucking country
Yeah.
for 3 weeks? Is that cool with you? I mean, you took every precaution and step possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then come day of, which keep in mind, we're closed Christmas Day. So it's not even like you were gone for this huge, crazy holiday. You were gone for Christmas Eve, which, like, yes, is a busy day for most restaurants, especially one like ours. It's a busy day. But even on that day, when she made that comment to me over a year ago, and she's like, I just can't believe that Kat's definitely not getting another one of these off. I looked at her and I go, we are allowed to have a life outside of this building.
Like, crazy concept.
We are absolutely allowed to plan things and live our lives outside of this restaurant. And if that's how you want us to be, you're going to need to find a lot of different people to work here.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, but like, my son comes first.
100% every time.
If my son needs to go somewhere for a week and I need to go with him, guess what? Fuck you guys, I'm gone for a week. Let it go.
Also, I come first.
Well,
Like,
and yeah, that
he is
too.
a human being. I am a human being.
Right,
And
and
I come first.
I'm an entity outside of my job.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Also, if we really want to get into it, how many days does she take off? How many
So
trips
many.
has she taken?
So many.
Also, I think it was this holiday season
Yeah, that she fucked off back to the motherland.
that she was gone for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, prime holiday time, she was gone.
Oh, yeah.
And I really wanted when she came back to be like, oh, you're not doing that next year.
That would have been hilarious.
I really hope you know that you don't get to do that next year. How dare you? How dare you have that opinion of somebody 1 year ago and then this year you do it?
And she was the GM for what, like 3-4 months?
Yeah.
When that happened? Like, she
Yeah.
wasn't even...
I think it's just that she came on and she's like, I can't believe anybody allowed the time off. Because we don't need everybody.
Yeah.
How many servers do we have? 28?
Something like that.
There's so many of us. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
What I don't understand is why on the holidays they don't stagger the end times, right?
No.
So, like, you could
Everyone
have...
gets here at 10 o'clock, and then everyone gets here at noon, and then everyone gets here at 3.
Right. Like, you could have people coming in at, you have a couple of 10 o'clocks come in to open the the line in the
Right.
restaurant and stuff, and then they take their break before open, fine. And then you have a couple people come on at 11, and then a couple people come on at 12, and then a couple people come on at 2, and then a couple more people come on at 4, and then maybe the last legs come on at 5. And you could cut people. Like, I don't know if you know this, but
you could stagger it out.
you could cut people, and then you maybe might have to give your closers a break, right? So your hammers,
or
you would
God
still have your
forbid, like
hammers.
we were just saying, you have a breaker, like
Or-
a
yeah.
designated breaker. Oh my God, I can't, like, I literally am fuming at myself for not having remembered breakers from other jobs, because I've been here now for so fucking long
Yeah.
that I forgot that that's how it works.
So that's a thing, yeah.
So I just want to, like, I'm walking in tomorrow. Like, I'm coming in so fucking hot tomorrow, and she's going to be there tomorrow because it's supposed to be so fucking busy. So she's going to be there
Fuck,
tomorrow.
is she?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, she's going to be there tomorrow, and then she's taking next weekend off because she had to come in an extra day.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah,
She had to come in one extra day.
One extra day, so she's going to take next weekend off. She needs 3 days
Whole weekend.
to make up for this one day, Sunday, that she's coming in.
My God.
I don't know. There's a word for it. Like,
Entitlement.
she just, it's the entitlement. I don't understand the entitlement that she has to say things to me, like when she says those comments about, like, how dare they ask for the day off, or like who would take a week off during this time, or whatever she says. And then she will turn around and literally say to me, I have a dog and I have to go home and walk my dog. So I'm going to leave this building once all the other managers are on. I'm leaving. She told me this yesterday. Once all the other managers are on, I'm leaving this building to go walk my dog because I have to take care of my dog. Great. Try having a fucking kid.
And she had the audacity the
Yep,
same day.
same day.
The audacity to scream at me about having to pick up my son from school.
Right. A living, breathing human being.
That I birthed
Right.
from my canal.
Who is
What?
not safely tucked in a warm bed at home, and you just need to make sure they piss outside. You, in fact, have to get him safely, without being kidnapped, home to your house.
What a fucking bitch.
I can't. I fucking can't.
I'm
don't
mad at her
understand.
now.
I have a dog, and I have to go do this for my dog. Okay, that's great. And have a dog, and that's great. And, like, yeah, go take your hour break to go fucking do that for your dog. Do that.
Yeah, of
But
course.
then turn around and be able to say the same fucking thing to a mom.
Yeah, and then threaten her with, on Mother's Day, you're going to be fucked. Cool, thanks. We have literally 5 people that work in this entire restaurant that are parents.
That are moms. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because we do have
I was going
a
to say,
dad.
we also have, like, 12 dads back of house.
Yeah, back of house.
So,
yeah.
like, back of house, I get it. That's 12 of our 20 back of house guys are parents. So, like, yeah, probably not all of them can have Father's Day off, right?
Right.
But you could absolutely roll without 5 servers on Mother's Day.
Apparently not. I'm 100% guaranteed to be working a double on that day. But you know what? It's a fucking Sunday. And that doesn't matter because my teenager can sit at home and play Roblox or whatever the fuck he does.
Well,
I don't even know anymore. He probably just
now
watches
I'm
porn.
not going to stop talking about having a breaker. This is all you're going to hear from me for the next several weeks
As you
far as
should,
at
yeah.
work. Hey, how come we don't run this like any other fucking functioning restaurant? Why don't we have
Because
a
it's
breaker? I
not.
think other locations have breakers.
That's probably true. I
I'm
think the
gonna-
location she came from probably had a breaker.
I'm going to talk to my friend who used to be a manager with the company, and I'm going to ask her, hey, at that super busy location of yours, did you have breakers on holidays? I'm pretty sure they do. And if so, why the fuck don't we? Literally, I'm more upset that I haven't thought of this sooner.
Same.
Because like, my last 3 restaurant jobs before this one, that's what we did. We had a designated breaker.
Yeah.
We need to jump back on that bandwagon and just rotate it out throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's not that
And
hard to
even
keep track of. Be like, hey, Kat, you're the breaker for Valentine's Day. And then, hey, Bunny, you're the breaker for Mother's Day. And then next year, it might be different people because we have so many people. So it's not that hard. Just put your name on a fucking list.
Yeah.
Sign a piece of paper, work your way down the fucking list. It's not that, do it alphabetically.
Yeah.
It's not that fucking hard.
And also, I think even if they just offered like a free meal, like we'll pay for your meal, so many people would jump at the opportunity of doing that on a holiday.
I think people would just jump at the opportunity to not have to work the whole holiday.
Exactly.
I think that alone would be enough.
I don't think they need like a designated code is what I'm saying. Like they wouldn't need a designated job code or whatever. Like literally just clock in as a server.
Right.
And then we'll pay for your meal.
Well, I brought up the whole like raffling off a holiday, right? I brought it up to our newest bar manager, and he was like, "That's a discussion you should have at the next meeting." And I was like, I will.
That's fair, yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's a bad shout. And I looked at him and I said, I can guarantee you that people like me and Kat and even some of our other closers are not going to want the holiday off. Like,
Right.
I promise you right now, if my name got drawn for Mother's Day, I'd be like, no, that's okay. Give it to somebody else.
Yeah, draw again, yeah.
I love working on Mother's Day. Mothers are difficult to work with, but I love working on Mother's Day to be like, my son's at home.
Yeah.
I love that. Are you kidding me? I love that. Oh, Christmas Eve? Oh my God. I still have to wrap a few gifts for my son when I get home.
Yep.
I love it. Love it. I
Yeah.
soak that shit up. Like, I live for it. So if you draw my name on Christmas Eve, no, I'm not having the day off. No, I'm not. You give it to somebody else.
Yeah, it's one of your highest paid
Yeah,
days.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's my biggest money-making day. Draw the next name.
Mm-hmm.
And other people might do that also. Like, if you go to, so if you go to one of our other, closers.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the closers would be like, nah.
Yeah, no,
I'm
that's
good.
okay. Skip, draw the next name. Like, I can't imagine anybody being mad about a raffle,
No, but I think that a breaker is a little bit more of a palatable concept
Yeah.
for our management team. I think
Absolutely.
that if
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, if you were to tell them like, why don't we implement breakers on
Please.
these days?
For the love of God.
Yeah, you could have literally one.
You could have two. You could have a morning breaker and a night breaker.
That's what I'm saying. You could have one or two for each shift,
Yeah.
and then call it a day. Like, it would still be so many people on the floor.
Right. And so there's the two people, like I said. So instead of having the day off, they are still coming to work. Raffle breakers. I don't fucking care. I don't care how you do it.
Something,
Just
yeah.
figure your shit out because there's too fucking many of us. And I'm sorry, if I can't handle 4 two-tops, I should not be your closer.
Yeah, that's fair.
As far as Valentine's Day goes, right? Because Valentine's Day obviously is a notorious two-top holiday.
Yes.
And that makes sense, and that's fine. But if you're waiting to seat me another table, holy shit, quadruple seat me. Because that's just an 8-top. That's all it is. It's one 8-top. I can handle that. I'm on a regular day, like literally if tomorrow I show up and they quadruple seat me with 2s, I'm not mentioning that to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'd come to you and be like, oh my God, I just got quadruple set. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah. I don't think I'd even bring it up because 2-tops are so fucking easy. I can carry all those drinks on one tray. Like, I'm good. Like that's my standard. Can I carry all these drinks on one tray? If not, stop fucking seating me. But if I can, then it's great. It's great. I don't know. It needs to be better. So anyways, I was a double, kind of. I got there at 1. I did not get there at noon like the other 4 doubles did. I got there at 1 because there was supposed to be this lunch with my son for Loved One's Day at his school. Then it got canceled due to rain.
I was going to ask, like, why did you come in later than everybody else? But
Well,
yeah, that makes sense.
I asked a couple, like a week and a half in advance when I found out about being able to have lunch with my son at his school.
Mm-hmm.
So his lunch is from 11:15 to noon.
Yeah.
So, because that's lunch and then recess, right?
Right.
And so I was like, hey, is there any way that I could come at 12:30? Like I'll be dressed for work at his school and I'll leave straight from his school and come here, but I need half an hour,
Mm-hmm.
And our GM was like, why don't you just come at 1? And I go, perfect. If I'm here early, she's like, then come early, but otherwise show up at 1. And I was like, okay, great. And then 2 days before the lunch with him, it got canceled, but now he's upset because he thought he was going to see me for lunch. So I promised him McDonald's. So I took him in McDonald's. And so he had that. I gave him a hug and we chatted for a minute. And then he went off with his McDonald's and he went and had his lunch, right?
Yeah.
But I was really looking forward. But anyway, so my point being, I came in at 1 and then we were all there. And yeah, by like 7:30, we're all just like, everybody's standing around with their dicks in their hands. Like there's nothing to fucking, there's no food to run. And because even the food runner never got overwhelmed because you're taking 2 plates out and then you come right back. You take 2 more plates out and you come right back. Like it's not that serious. Like it's not that serious, guys. Like they just need to calm down with this fucking scheduling. But yeah, and then I just kept saying like, hey, you could cut me. Like,
by the way,
you could cut me now. Like it's 8:00. You could cut me. And so I got cut, but 2 of the other doubles did not get cut. And one of them was Auntie M, and she was having a whole fit about it.
Yeah, I know, because when I came on today, the server manager told me, oh, yeah, so Auntie M will be breaking you at 5. Because originally somebody else was supposed to be breaking me, and I was like, oh, how closely are we following this? Because I was going to say, do not let Magic the Gathering near any one of my fucking tables, because he was supposed to be breaking me, and I said, can it be anybody else? Because I do not want him talking to my guest. And it has nothing to do with, do not think for one second that he would say anything about me to my tables or like there's nothing that he would do differently than anybody else. He's just such an odd fucking dude. I don't want him near my section. I don't want him near my tables.
I don't want him worrying about his tables and mine. That's what I don't want. That's all it comes down to. Like, if he has no tables and he watches my section, fine. If he has one table, he cannot watch my section.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sorry, but I watch him get overwhelmed with 4. Like, absolutely overwhelmed in the weeds with 4 tables. And then he comes out of it and he's like, oh, it wasn't even that hard. It's like, dude, you were sweating fucking bullets.
Yeah.
Like, it was that hard for you. I know you have this, like, great attitude about it and you're like, haha, it's over now. Yeah, but in it, you weren't doing great.
Yeah.
And that's with 4, let alone with 8. You know? Like, there's no way
I'm 2 sections is a lot different.
There's no way I'm handing him my section and his. It's not happening.
So I definitely, it was one of those things where I was just like, hey, how closely are we following this? And the server manager was like, oh no. And he immediately crosses off Magic the Gathering and then writes in Antium and goes, she'll be breaking you because she had a whole lot to say yesterday and she didn't want to be fucking breaking anybody today. So she'll be breaking you. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Well, so it got towards the end of the night, right? It's 8 o'clock, 8:15, I think was my official cut time. Yesterday was 8:15. And I got handed the little cut slip and everything. But he came to me, server manager came to me and he goes, hey, Bunny, you're cut. And I went, fucking great. I already had my silverware ready to roll. Like, I'm going to be out of there in half an hour. I was so fucking ready to go. And I was closing out my one table and then my other table was eating. So I was like, literally half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm the fuck out of this building.
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
And then he came to me, server manager came to me about half an hour later and he's like, yeah, I kept wondering, why does Bunny keep telling me to cut her? And I'm like, you're not on a double. Oh, wait, you are. You got here at noon. To which I did not correct him.
Nope.
I said nothing at all. I went, yeah, I am on a double. I didn't tell you I was the first double here. I didn't say that. You did. Yeah. You said that. And you wanted to cut me first. That's on you.
Yep.
But yeah, Auntie M was a little frustrated. She's like, I don't understand how I'm still getting tables. I don't know. It's not on me. Also, I didn't walk up there and be like, I got here 5 minutes. No, I didn't do that. I didn't say that I got here before fucking anybody. They thought that. I don't know why they thought that. They have a schedule right up there at the front. It said 1 o'clock. My clock-in time was 1 o'clock officially on the schedule. So
yeah, they changed it, yeah.
If you can't look at that, it's not on me. All I know is that I'm ready to go. So I fucking bounced out.
Something else they changed, day of, which was so frustrating.
Wild. This is wild.
So they put up the breaker schedule days before.
Days in advance. And here was their reasoning why. They put up the breaks for Friday and for Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. They put them up saying, like, this is your in time, this is who's breaking you, at what time, and then you need to find your name and see if you break anybody else.
Right.
The reason they did it days in advance to post it is because they looked at us and said, management team as a whole looked at us and said, you guys need to be in charge of this. You're all adults. You need to be able to look at this and know, so look at it now. Do it right now. To which I did and committed it to memory.
As did I 4 days before Valentine's Day.
Committed it to memory. So I knew that you got there before I did. And when I came in at 1 o'clock, I was breaking you at 1, and then you were going to break me, and then I would get a section. That's how it was going to work. So for my first hour being there, I wasn't going to get any tables. That's fine. And then at 2 o'clock, basically, is when I was going to start my day.
Right.
Totally fine. And then I come in.
You come in at 1 o'clock, you look at me, so you got to take a break. And I said, you're absolutely right. Because I also had committed that shit to memory. I was like, you are correct. I need to take my break. So I clock out on break and somebody looks at me and says, no, you're not taking a break. What are you talking about? That's not what it says in the back.
I went to the back because I was like, oh, let me make sure that it wasn't like 1:30 or whatever, right? But I was pretty sure it was 1. I had it committed to memory.
Yeah.
And so I walk and I look and it says that you break me at 1:30 and you don't get a break until 3 o'clock when your relief comes in.
Yeah,
and I go,
the fuck not.
I go, wait, what? And so I literally scanned that paper 3 times. And then I went up to you and I go, hey, sorry, you're not actually taking a break right now. And you're like, I just clocked out. And I'm all, well, then you are taking a break right now. Yes, you are. That's facts.
Yeah.
But then they wanted to seat my section because they're now going off this quote unquote new break schedule that apparently got posted at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, what the When the fuck did you do this?
That looked literally identical outside of the timing, right? But like
Colors were
everything
all the
else,
same.
yeah, everything was there. And nobody told me like, hey, there's a new break schedule. Make sure you
Nobody
look at
said
that.
anything. They said, you guys are adults. You need to do this yourself. And so I fucking made it happen. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting shit from 2 different managers because I sent you on break. And I'm all, because she was supposed to take a break when I got here. Like, I was handling my shit like you told me to. And then it was like, oh, no, well, we needed a seat and blah, blah, blah. Well, nobody fucking told me that.
And nobody told me that.
And
like,
no offense, but like if you give me information days in advance and then change it day of, I'm not coming in day of to go, oh my God, did anything change? No.
let me make sure, yeah.
That'd be like calling before every shift being like, am I still on at 4? Am I still on at 4?
Do you guys still need me?
Am I still on at 4? Yes, you are, you fucking idiot. Like, why wouldn't you be? So yeah, I sent you on your break, and then you gave me a break. Still close to 1:30, right?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't totally 1:30, but close enough to it. And it was like this, well, we changed it because somebody called out. Okay, well, one person called out and the entire fucking break schedule got changed?
Which is wild. And also, what the fuck? Why would my relief come in, break me, and then
you break her and then you go
home? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? No.
No,
Fuck
it
off.
didn't make any sense. And also, there'd be no reason for you to be there from 3 to
4.
5.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get there at 10, you got there at 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you have until 5 o'clock to legally have to have had a break.
Right.
But from 3 to 5, why am I still here? I'm not
Yes.
taking tables anymore. There's somebody in my section now.
Yeah, it's not my section anymore.
Somebody else owns this section now. What do you want me doing? Am I just a floater now? Until
No.
whenever you let me go? Like, that's...
Absolutely the fuck
It
not.
was bonkers. So anyways, point being, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Long story short, what the fuck, guys?
Get your shit together.
Get your fucking shit together.
Yeah, and then tonight I was off my game. Like
I think a lot of us were. I
in
feel
a
like that
weird
was
way.
kind of the vibe of tonight. Like, I got there at 5, and it was you, and it was, Pretty Little Thing, and then it was Sweet Pea. Like, a bunch of us were just like not working right.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I made a couple of mistakes. They were like really stupid mistakes, but like one of my guests asked me, he's like, "Oh, I'll have the Manhattan chowder." And all I heard was chowder.
Sure.
And so I put in a clam chowder, which is not the Manhattan based spicy,
Sure, but we also don't
chowder
have
that
a
we have.
Manhattan chowder. 'Cause
It doesn't say that on the
No, but
menu.
also a Manhattan chowder still has clams.
Yes, that's
It's
fair.
a red broth clam chowder.
Yeah.
So when people come in, they say, "Oh, do you have a Manhattan?" No, we don't. We don't. We have New England, or we have an entirely different soup completely.
Yeah.
Not clam chowder related at all. It's a fish soup.
Yeah.
We have clam
That's
chowder
tomato
and we have
based, yeah.
fish soup. That's all we have. There's no Manhattan style. Cut it out. Stop it.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from.
But yeah, but again, he said that, and I should have known what he meant by
Right.
that. But I heard chowder, so I put in the clam chowder, and then it came to the table, and I witnessed none of this. All I saw was the table coming back to me from a manager. Like, you know how you can return a check,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So
and
the
then it's
table,
floating, and you're like, "What happened?
yeah,
Who touched
and-
this?"
exactly. So I open it and I see the comp, and I was like, "What?" And I try to see what's new, and then I see the fish soup, and I was just like, "Oh fuck, he did want the fish soup and not the fucking clam chowder." And I was just like, so that started it, right?
Right.
And then it was just like 2 or 3 other like really small mistakes, very easily remedied mistakes, but it got me to a point where I was just like, "Hey, does anyone know if there's any extra rope in the attic? Like, I'm gonna go home." Like, and when I say home, I mean to him. Like,
To God.
I'm leaving this
Or the
entire
devil,
planet.
more realistically. Home to the beast, yes. Yeah, I could tell that you were off. There was a moment in the back where I looked at you and I was like, "What's wrong?" And you had a few things to say, but you didn't really say anything. Like
Yeah.
you said
I
that
was
things.
trying really hard not to cry.
You said that things were off, but you didn't really tell me what was going on. So then I was
Yeah.
standing at the terminal waiting for you because you were taking 73's order. And I was just waiting for you. And Auntie M's like, "You have that look. What's going on?" I said, "Something's wrong with Kat and I don't know what." And you took forever taking 73's order. Like, they fucking chatted your ear off because I stood there a while. Keep in mind, I have a full section.
Yeah,
but they were
sorry.
talking for a while. So then I went, you know what? I'm just going to walk her section. I'm just going to walk it and see what can I do.
Yeah.
So immediately I was like, oh, she needs a refill here. This table has a bunch of plates they've pushed aside. I'm going to start taking these plates. So then I was going to pull up your check for that table and see if they had ordered dessert already. Do they need setups? You know, have they even been talked to about dessert? But then you ended up meeting me over. You ended up meeting me at that table, and then you were like, oh, yeah, they're going to look at dessert right now. Okay, cool. That was better, right? But I don't know, it's just something that I like to do for you and for a couple other people. Like, if I see that you're off, then it's like, hey, I have 30 seconds. What can I do in this 30 seconds that I think will genuinely help?
Yeah.
You know, like, let me take that refill off your hands. Let me take this pre-bus off your hands.
And that's it, 100% exactly what I needed in that moment, because the timing was off, and I don't know if it was because just we had this one table that management told me, like, oh, this was a problem. It was a huge deal, and so we're gonna put them with you because, you know, blah blah blah. They put him in my section because I was the lead server. That was
right.
They would have put him. It wasn't me.
Right. It's any lead server.
Yeah. They were gonna put him in the lead server section, and you know, they made this whole big deal about it. One of the fabulous host, gave them some attitude a while ago. I guess they were complaining about, like, when are we going to sit down or something? And he was like, yeah, we'll seat you in a minute. And then...
Absurd. How dare he?
Right. And then
You can't speak to people like that. You can't tell people facts.
Right. And then
Disgusting.
they had, like, a whole thing to say to the management team.
Yeah,
so,
they were very upset that day.
Yeah, well, I've never even heard about this, right? And so they sit down, and they were fine.
Yeah, they seem super nice.
Completely chill people. Like, absolutely, I don't even understand why they complained, if I'm being honest. Like, they don't seem like the type to complain about anything. But I was like, okay,
Maybe an
whatever.
off day. Who knows?
Yeah, it was okay, whatever. But for the longest time, they were holding my table open for them. Like, they weren't seating my table. And so I had 2 tables, essentially, because tonight the lead server had the 3 booths and then the large party.
Right.
And I had, you know, the large party table had 2 parties set in them, like, already, like, for the day.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to be, you know, and obviously you're not going to seat a party of 2 in an 8-table round table. That'd be fucking wild. So
we joked about making that a communal table.
that'd be great.
Server manager called it the swingers table. And I was like, yeah, your options are to sit all the way across from each other or right next to each other, because it's a big circle, right?
Yeah.
You just pass the plates. You just push them all the way back to the other side if you're sharing, right? But anyways, then we talked about just communal tables at other restaurants and stuff like that.
That's great. But yeah, they were holding the table, so I had 2 tables, and then one of the tables that was already sat was just chilling. They had all the time in the world to do fuck all. There was a couple of ladies just with their Valentine's Day dates and not moving. Check on the table, and neither of them had reached to touch it.
Right.
I was just like, fucking great. And so that was making me upset, and I was just trying really hard to just be like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, it's just dinner.
Yeah.
It's just dinner. It's, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, why do I care so much about this? And then it just started spiraling from there, and it was not a great night. And
I get that. We've all been there. I've done
Yeah.
it on shifts where it's like one thing after the next, and now I'm fucking pissed. I'm heated. I'm pissed. I don't want to do this anymore. Nobody can, you know, especially when I'm a closer, and it's like nobody on the shift could even stay for me if I cried, you know? Like, there's like I can't cry and I can't get out of this. I have to fucking suck it up and do it. But it's like things are spiraling out. But
I was holding it together until the second you were like, are you okay? And I was like, no,
Sorry.
I'm not.
I thought you were just mad at somebody. Like, you had that look on your face. I was like, ooh, she's mad at somebody. Who are you mad at? Who are we yelling at?
Whose tires am I slashing?
I will go yell. It's fine.
I'm not riled up.
I've never been riled. So here we are, the tail end of Valentine's Day weekend. We have one more day to go. It is projected to be a busier Sunday than usual. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, of course.
And then Monday is quote-unquote industry Valentine's Day because it's after the holiday weekend. So that's when anybody who works in the industry would go out.
I mean, I guess, but it's also like a federal holiday where there's no school and stuff. So I can't imagine that it's still going to be very dead. I feel like it's still probably going to be pretty busy.
Yeah, I think it would have been busy whether it was, you know, Valentine's Day weekend or not. Like the Monday following, but just because it's a holiday and also we're coming out of Valentine's Day. So anybody trying to avoid the crowds will probably go Monday, you know, or even tomorrow. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting all the people who didn't want to go out Friday and Saturday to go tomorrow.
Yeah, and they'll do it for brunch when I'm working. Great.
I don't know. There's something about our restaurant that I don't think like, brunch. Like,
Me either, but sometimes Sundays pop the fuck off
Yeah.
for no reason, and there's like 4 people on.
real quick, before we go, I have to discuss this. I know you already know about it, and I don't care. We have to discuss this.
What are we discussing?
So I'm at work the other day, and our surfer boy host is doing all of the calls for Valentine's Day, the confirmation calls.
That felt really weird that they were doing confirmations like, hey, you're coming in for your appointment, or not appointment.
Kind of, for your dinner appointment.
You're coming in for your reservation
You will
5
be asked
days
to cough.
from now.
Also, not too weird for me, I guess, because when I worked fine dining and I was a host, we did the week before any holiday. Like, if the holiday fell on a Thursday, by Monday, we were calling people to confirm. Because we need to know how many exact people we have coming in at those hours.
I guess.
So
but
confirming reservations on a holiday just makes sense to me, because that's how I started with the industry, was that's what we did. You know, holidays only. If it was just a Friday, like, and it wasn't Valentine's Day, it was just Friday, and I got a phone call, and I was like, hey, are you going to be here? I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I haven't decided yet, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like even on Valentine's Day, maybe people haven't quite decided yet. So you're going to get a
Well,
lot
they
of
should. It's busy as
confirmations.
shit, and you're not going to get in anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, are you coming or not? So he had hundreds of calls to make. Like, he had to make so many calls. And they were telling him, when I got there that day, they were like, hey, so you're going to call. This is what you say. If they confirm, you mark their reservation as confirmed. Because then
Right.
it puts a little dot next to their reservation. So that way, as we get to those that night, we can go, oh, they're definitely set to come in. You
Yeah.
know? And any that don't have a dot might not show up. But let's face it, most people still show up. So anyways, he was calling and making all of these. And he'd been doing it for hours. Like, any moment that there was not a person waiting to be sat, he had to be making these calls. So we're dying out. It's the end of the night. It's 8 or 8:30, right? We close at 9.
Close at 9, yeah.
And he's up there, but he's stamping bags. And he's on the phone. He has, like, the phone held in his shoulder while he's stamping bags. And I walk up just to check, do we have any more reservations for the night? Like, what's happening? Because I was closing. And so I walk up, the front is empty, he's standing behind the host desk, and he also has an earbud in. And so for one hot second, I was like, oh my God, he's talking to his friend, but he's making it look like he's talking on the phone. So I'm over here like, ooh, he's slick. Like, oh my God. And then I'm listening to his conversation, and he's like, yeah, well, I'll definitely see you on Valentine's Day. I can't wait. Oh, but I've got a couple people up here. And I look at him, and then I look at the front door, and I look back at him, because there's nobody in the fucking restaurant.
It's just you, yeah.
It's just me. I'm standing up there, and I go, okay. And then he says the words, peep the follow, though, and then says goodbye. So he gets off the phone, and I go, I need to know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. Did you give somebody your contact information, like your Instagram?
Yeah.
What do you mean peep the follow? What the fuck was that? And so he's like, oh, so I called this girl to confirm for her and her 2 friends to come in on Valentine's Day, and she confirmed. We talked for like a moment, and then I moved on to my next calls. He said, and about 15 minutes later, she called back to say, hey, I really liked your vibe. Can we chat for a bit?
Fucking wild. That's disgusting.
That's insane. I can't imagine being that girl being like, you know what? He sounded cute. I'm going to call him back.
What
And
a gamble also.
But we know how he is. Like, we've already talked about him before, right? He's very charming. He's very charismatic.
That's
so,
still a gamble.
no, but on the phone, I can imagine that he does come across very well, right? I can understand
He comes
that
across
sounds,
well in person as
Of
well.
course he
but
does. Of course he does. But I mean, I can see how that would happen over the phone too, right? So this girl, she's 21 years old, I found out. She talked to him for a total of what? Confirming a reservation?
45
2 minutes?
seconds.
Yeah, tops. 45 minutes or seconds to 2 minutes tops.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. He's made 2 calls today.
Both to her.
So she calls back to say, hey, we just spoke. I really liked your vibe. Can we chat?
Fucking
So
wild.
he was chatting with her, and while they were chatting, like, keep in mind, there's nobody in the restaurant. So, like, he's still doing his job, and he's stamping bags. He's doing other things. While they're chatting, I guess she said, hey, here's my Instagram information. You should follow me. And so he did. While they were on the phone together, he jumped on Instagram and hit follow, right? And so he gets off the phone, and I'm like, I need to know everything. What happened? And so he's like, yeah. And I was like, let me see. And he goes, well, she's 21, And I was like, let me see right now. Pull up that Instagram. Like, I need to see this.
Of course.
And so he pulls up. He's like, she's cute. I was like, she is cute. And he's like, yeah. So then they were messaging on like Instagram Messenger, right? Like back and forth. And he came to me at one point to tell me, he's like, so she said this. What should I say? And I was like,
shut up.
Right? And I was like, hold on, you just scored over the phone. You don't need, I can't help you. I've never done that.
Woman.
I'm a middle-aged woman that sounds like a teenage boy over the phone. Like, nobody has ever called me back to be like, oh my God, you sound so cute. That's never happened.
No.
Ever in my whole life. I've never even heard of this happening before.
It's crazy.
So wild. So they talk for a little bit, and I don't know if they're still talking or not. I guess maybe a couple messages have been exchanged. But I guess she did come in on Valentine's Day, obviously, with her friends.
Yep.
And so he saw her. But anyways, so from that moment on, after I leave that conversation with him, I do 3 things immediately. I walk into the office and I tell server manager, you're not going to fucking believe what just happened. And then I walk outside and I call you.
Yeah.
And I go, you're not going to fucking believe what just happened. And then I tell the bartender, you're not going to fucking believe what just happened. Like, I cannot stop telling this story to people. Like, this kid spoke on the phone for 2 minutes to a girl, and she was just
enamored.
Just absolutely, oh my God. This 2-minute phone conversation has got me hooked. I need more.
Fucking wild.
So she calls back. Oh, God, balls. Just balls for both of them so much. Like, I can't imagine being her or him in this situation. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, same.
Wild.
Yeah, you told me this, and apparently so many other people.
So many. I told our GM. I've told everybody. And now I'm telling the world.
Our 2 listeners. Your mom.
The world.
And then today, I was telling Cutie Patootie about it because they have their little rivalry.
Yes. Same name rivalry.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, did you hear what Surfer Boy Alpha did? And so I'm telling him about it, and he was just like, yo, honestly, fuck this kid.
Because you know damn well that Cutie Patootie's never scored over the phone.
Never in his life.
Because no one has.
Nobody has. And I was looking at Cutie Patootie and I was like, honestly, it's kind of gross. Like, it makes me want to vomit that was a reality, that he just lives his life that way. Like, fuck that. You know what? You're right. Fuck that kid. And then Cutie Patootie, like, daps me up and he's like, yeah. I'm just like, okay. But Cutie Patootie touched me, so it all worked out fine.
Score.
Who won now, bitch? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just that made me laugh so hard. So now I'm telling everybody that hasn't heard the story already about it.
Everybody needs to hear about this.
It's fucking legendary.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Like, I've had conversations with people. This stands out to me specifically, quickly. I made an order on Uber Eats or whatever, right?
Right.
To be delivered to my mom's house. I was getting us dinner, and it wouldn't let me modify something the way that I wanted to for my son's order. So I called the restaurant, and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I just placed this order. I just need to make sure that you guys understand, like, what I typed. I'm not trying to be complicated, but it wouldn't let me modify it the way I wanted to. Can I speak to the to-go person? So I get on with the to-go guy, and he is like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, hey, here's what's going on. He goes, you know what? Absolutely, I did see that note, but I don't think the kitchen can see it. Let me go check with them. He checks with the kitchen. He runs it by the kitchen manager. He runs it by the front of house manager. He has gotten every single person involved. He is polite. He is to the point, and he is just like so well-mannered over the phone. And so on the phone to him, before I got off, I was like, I need you to understand that you are literally the nicest person I've ever spoken to on the phone about anything like this, right? Like any type of correction deal. He wasn't exasperated. He wasn't frustrated. He wasn't like, ugh, oh my God, let me do this. Like, there was no hesitation to him whatsoever. He was just like, let me go check every single box I can to make sure that order comes to you correctly. Aww. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, literally, thank you so much.
Did you call him back 15 minutes later?
I did not. Did not. I was not interested in dating him. I just wanted him to know that he did a fantastic job. After I got off the phone, that interaction, I told my mom, because my mom was sitting right next to me, and she's like, what's going on? Like, what happened, right? Because I'm not on speakerphone. I'm just having a conversation. So I tell her everything that happened. She goes, oh my God, that's so great when that happens. Like, when you interact with somebody, and it is just like top to bottom, it's a great conversation, right? Mm-hmm. So what I did, like any normal person would do, I went on to Yelp and I left a positive review for that guy specifically.
That's nice.
I literally said his name, and also I was like, to-go guy blank, right? Was absolutely phenomenal on the phone. Amazing service, hands down. give this guy a raise. Like, that was fantastic. And my order did come to me correct.
Fantastic.
Absolutely the way that I wanted it to be. Thank you so much.
Nice.
But I didn't ask him out.
He didn't follow me on Instagram, so...
Didn't tell him how old I was, nor did I ask him to follow me.
Guess it's a bit of a loss there.
It's fine. I hope he excelled at his job every day after, which he probably did. But anyways, like, that's a normal way to handle that, right? Like, I left a good review.
Mm-hmm.
But
Speaking of... Oh, this is so funny. I was up at the front today doing side work and just kind of figuring out, like... the floor plan and, you know, when
Right.
people are going to, because everyone came in at like the same time. So I was like, how the fuck are they doing these cuts? I don't understand what's going to happen here
Good
at
luck.
the end of the night,
Yeah.
but whatever. So I'm trying to figure out side work. And the server manager says, everybody, I want to get everyone's attention at the host desk, right? Because we do that at the host desk. And so it is Surfer Boy, brand new little host, Fuckface McGee,
Fuckface McGee.
and Pinky. So the four of them
Right.
are all up at the host stand, and they turn around. They're like, "What's going on?" And server manager goes, "We got this review the other day," and he starts reading it off, and it is a 5-star Yelp review for Surfer Boy, saying how amazing he was at his customer service skills.
Yep.
He was really well knowledged. He was really polite. He was great on the phone. This and that. Blah blah blah. And then they gave him a $50 gift card
Oh, shit.
to one of the restaurants in the section or in the thing that we're in.
In our plaza. Oh, shit.
A nice ass restaurant.
Yeah.
So, like one of the finer dining restaurants in
Yeah.
our plaza, they gave him a $50 gift card and they said, "This is exactly what we want to see when it comes from you." And the fact that all three of the people that were standing next to Surfer Boy were some of the worst hosts that we have. And to be fair to brand new hostess, she's brand new. You know what I mean? Who
She
knows?
hasn't had a chance to shine yet.
She
There's
hasn't had a
been
chance.
no chance to shine whatsoever.
She seems very shy, and she seems like maybe she could come out of her shell with
Right.
a little bit more, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I
encouragement
think
and
she'll
stuff.
come around. She does seem fit for the job.
She does, and I've seen her kind of taking tips from Surfer Boy, and you know, she'll walk with the guests back and she has a little bit more conversation with them versus just like running 10 steps ahead of them to a table
Right.
and then be like, "You're right here," and then throwing the menus on the table and fucking running off.
Or, God forbid, like, heavy eye rolling at the guests when they come in by, you
Yeah.
know, whoever else.
Right. So it was definitely, you know, she's only bad because she is brand new. This
Right.
is the only reason she's bad. Pinky and Fuckface McGee, they're just bad.
They're just bad.
They're just bad at their jobs.
Bad at their jobs.
And so for them to be the ones that were getting the
The whole rundown of
yeah,
the review.
the audience
Yeah.
of this happening, I was just sitting there giggling and kicking my feet. I thought that was so fucking funny.
Also, I do think that that's such a great way to, one, acknowledge somebody. Like, we put the reviews up for the servers in the back, and we all can all read them if we want to, when they keep up with it, right?
Yeah.
We put the
they
5-star
do
reviews
that
up when
once
they
every
do that.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah. But to, one, acknowledge him in front of others, and also to get them to be like, hey, I could also be getting this kind of, you know, commemoration
yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
being told what a good job I did and this and that. And, like, also just have a little fucking dignity in your job. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, I think that's great. I'm glad that it was in front of everybody. And he
Yeah.
deserves every moment of that. Like, he fucking shines with guests. Like,
Oh.
he's so good. Today, it was today, because I couldn't remember if it was today or yesterday, but it was today, because he always asks people, like, hey, are we celebrating anything, or, like, what brought you in today, you know, this or that, and I always hear him chatting it up with the guests. Today, he was like, so, what else has been going on in your day? Like, did you guys have a good start to your day? And one woman was like, you know, I actually woke up to some bad news. He goes, oh my God, I hate that. Are you okay? You know what? You guys get really comfy. I got this great booth here for you. Like, he finds a way to fucking spin
Turn
anything.
it all around, yeah.
Anything the guest says into like, oh my God, why don't you sit on it? And then he came back by that table when he was clearing menus and stuff. He went back by to be like, are you enjoying everything tonight?
Jesus Christ.
So not only is he doing his job from the host stand to the table, right? He's doing it again and on top of and above and beyond to swing by later and be like, are you guys enjoying everything tonight? Like, get the fuck out of here, kid.
Yeah,
like,
go
you're
away.
blowing me out of the water now, and I don't like this kind of heat. Like, get out of here. Get the fuck back up to the front. You go. Stop talking to my guests.
Yeah, no, I walked away from that whole interaction with the server manager, and I was like, this means we're keeping him at the front, right? We really need him at the front.
Please, can he stay there for a little bit longer?
At least a little, just a little bit. Like, can we? And no, it wasn't server manager. I'm sorry. It was a new bar manager.
Right.
And I was telling him, he needs to be the one training host, not
Yes.
not fuckface.
Yeah.
Like,
Can we get him through the trainer program and just
immediately,
also
yeah.
have him rub off some of that onto other people? Like, please, for the love, because honestly, on days that he's there, other than when he's a little, because he can be a little bit too much sometimes. And when I'm in the heat of it and he wants to like chat me up, it's like, honestly, dude, walk away. Like,
Yeah.
I love that you're still so happy right now. I'm fuming. Walk away.
Yeah.
I can't give you the dabs and all of this cool, conversation
I'm
right
in the
now.
back crying, and he's like, my favorite person. I'm like, fuck you, you child, get out of here.
Walk away. But
No, I agree, yeah.
I asked him last week because somebody made the comments, one of the managers, I don't remember who, but one of the managers made the comment to him, like, you're going to be up here for a little bit longer. Like, we can't promote you just yet.
Mm-hmm.
One, because you're so great at your job, and two, because we just don't have room right now anywhere else for him to be, right? Like,
Right.
there's no other work group that needs anybody right now. And that's what was said. And then the manager walks away. And I look at him and I was like, yeah, do you have like a brother or cousins or fuck it? Do you have friends that you trust enough that are like you at all? Can we get even half? Do you have a friend that's half like you that you could bring in that wants a job? Because holy shit, so good. Like,
Yeah.
he's so great. The minute people walk in, he makes them feel at home. He makes them feel at ease. And then, like I said, that extra step of when he went back to that table to be like, is this meal going great for you guys? I just want to hear that it's going great for you.
That's incredible.
And I'm just like, stop it, manager.
bitch.
Like, you're a manager now. Shut the fuck up. Now you're
off.
touching tables. Get out of here. Our managers don't even touch tables. God, he's so good at his job. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I hate him.
But also,
Actually, I've decided.
yeah, you have to stay there because I need to know that my shifts are going to go like that. Like,
Yeah.
I need that to be what people get at the front, Like, because we've had too many hosts that many that have left, right? That have either lost their jobs or have quit. Many that just don't give a flying fuck that people are coming in the restaurant. It's like, I don't know if you know this, but this is how you make your money. Like,
Yeah.
you're getting paid hourly, sure, but the servers also tip you for seating them.
Yeah.
So you need these tables to come in or you're not getting any tips. Like, this is how this works.
Yeah, and
So-
if they're mad and angry and decide that they don't want to eat there because they were treated like shit right off the bat,
Right.
guess what? Those sales aren't going to you.
Exactly.
Like,
So just clock in, suck it the fuck up. Come on.
come on.
Come on.
Yeah, I had a table yesterday, Valentine's Day. It was a four-top, which wild to happen on Valentine's Day.
I had a birthday celebration last night, and I
That's
was like,
weird.
it's all about your birthday. Like, we're not even talking about Valentine's Day. I'm not wishing you a happy Valentine's Day because you're here with your whole ass family. This is
fuck Valentine's Day. But it was originally a party of four. I walk up and they were like, yeah, this one bailed on us. And at the time I was technically on break. So I was like, oh, I'm on break. And I was like, I'll join. I'll be your fourth. And I just sit in the booth. And I was like, what do we drink?
That's so great, though.
And I was like,
I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, oh, so you saved a seat for me. Thank you.
I literally had other tables watching me do this, right? And I just sit in the booth and I was like, what are we drinking? And so they order a couple of drinks. And then the guy that told me that the fourth had bailed, he was like, and of course, whatever you're drinking. I was like, yeah, of course, on your tab though, right? And he goes, obviously. Like,
Obviously. Of course.
yeah, it was so funny. But yeah, I just made myself right at home in their booth.
Yep.
Like, oh, she bailed, perfect, I'm here.
Yeah. Got you. Let's make this happen.
But even then, I don't think that's nearly as good as what fucking Surfers Boys do. I'm
damn
pissed. I hate him. I need him fired. I'm just kidding. But also not. I need him up there
I need
every
him up
shift.
there, but I also do look forward to seeing him if the day comes and we're still there, seeing him on the floor.
Yeah,
Like,
that'll
to
be
see
really
him
interesting.
with his guests. Like, we all have regulars, right? And some of us have people that specifically ask for us when they come in, right? Like, I've got, I think, 3 or 4 that if I'm on shift, they want to sit with me, right? They'll still eat there if I'm not there.
Yeah, I
but
was
they
gonna
do
say.
ask the host specifically, is Bunny here? Can we, or is Bunny section open? Like, if they already know that it's a Saturday night, so Bunny's here, you know?
Yeah.
So I have like maybe 4 regulars that specifically ask for me. And then if they can't sit with me, they sit with somebody else, right? I have a feeling that if he becomes a server, he's going to have so many people asking to sit with him.
Instantly. Yeah.
So many people are going to be like, I'm not just coming back, I'm coming back for Surfer Boy.
Like, it's honestly, our restaurant has a lot of regulars.
Yes.
And it sustains itself on regulars.
Yes.
But I feel like they are regulars of the restaurant.
Right,
They're
right.
not regulars of any one server. There's not,
Yeah.
like, they wouldn't follow that server to a different restaurant.
No,
if
I
they
don't
were to
think
go
so.
somewhere else. Like,
The people who ask for me will still come in, like I said, if I am not there. They're
Yeah.
not going to give up on the restaurant. They just prefer to sit with me because we have that, one-on-one.
Yes.
And we have that relationship
whereas
already.
I do wonder if he would be the one server to break that and to, people would come in and be like, oh, is Surfer Boy working? And if they got a no, they're turning around.
Like, actually, we'll be back later.
Right. They'll be like,
Yeah.
we'll be back tomorrow to see if
Right.
he's here. Because obviously you can't give out schedules, right? But yeah, I have a feeling that he might be the one server to break that.
Yeah.
Because he's disgusting.
He's so good. It's so annoying. I don't even know where he pulls this shit out of his ass so quickly. Like,
I could never be that extroverted.
I can't, like, I have energy, but I don't, like, okay, so I used to work Disneyland, right?
Ugh.
And I'm not a Disney kid. Like, I'm not a Disney adult, definitely, by any means. But I wasn't even a Disney. I wasn't obsessed with Disneyland as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went one time and I don't remember it. So when I went and worked there, I was like, I've never been here. Because
Lucky.
basically I'd never been there. But I got fucking wore, and I was in my 20s, like early 20s that I worked Disney. And I was wore the fuck out. And I worked retail.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm bringing up stuff and then folding clothes. Like, that's my entire job. I either bring up stuff or I'm over there, or I got to play with the lightsabers. But anyways, like, that was my job. Like, you moved around for the whole day. But I would be fucking exhausted. I'm 22 years old. I'm exhausted by the end of my fucking shift because I don't have that kind of, like, personality.
Bubbly persona.
I don't
yeah.
have that in me. It was forced every single day that I worked there. Not to smile. Like, I can smile when I'm out at the grocery store. Like, I smile most of the time. But to be that over the top, to have to, like, because you want to make that day so special for everybody that comes. They're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, he does that on a bigger level than I ever did, and for people spending $45 a person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he's so above and beyond.
I wish I only went to Disneyland once as a kid. Just having flashbacks going on their 40th anniversary.
War flash.
41 days in a row as an 8-year-old
Ugh.
to Disneyland. I've been twice since then and I've hated every minute of it. And I did not work there in any way. I had a lot of family that worked there, but I've never once. I fucking hate Disneyland.
It was a chore to go to work. Not only that, it was like you have to park in the cast parking lot and you have to get bused, like, shuttled in,
Yeah, so
and then you have to
much.
wear a whole ass costume because it is a costume. Whether you are a costume, whether you're a
a
character
princess or not, yeah.
not, even if you just work in the stores, you are wearing a whole ass fucking costume. And
Yep.
yeah, it's like as soon as you go out on, like, you're on stage, and that
Mm-hmm.
was the whole thing. And, like, when I first joined, I was like, all right, this is going to be interesting, right? And it very quickly turned into so much more, like, mentally it was work
I
to
bet.
go every day. But also, fuck Disney.
Well, on that note, title of the episode, Fuck
Disney.
We're not doing that. We'll get sued. They don't even know us. They know nothing about us. They'll find the podcast. And
That's
fucking
very
sue
true.
us. On that note, you ready to check out?
Yeah, let's check the fuck out.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans.